So hi, this is Charlie Calvert, and I wanted to take a minute to talk about the advanced logging tool, which can be added into the Internet Information Server Manager. So let's make sure for a second that you know how to install the advanced logging tool, assuming you have IIS already installed on your system and you've made sure that the Internet Information Server Manager was installed at the same process. Then you can go up on the web and you can go to IIS.net, the official Microsoft IIS site. So it's www.iis.net, and then you go to the Learn tab up here on the toolbar, and you go there, and you can see down here they have a Managing and Maintaining IIS item. Of course, the website might change over time, but this will show you the general gist of things. And down here, if you look, you can see there's a section on using advanced logging. And the part we need to dig into that a little bit. And then we can find the advanced logging README. And if you scroll down, then finally, at long last, you find installing the advanced logging tool using Windows Installer, and you can choose either the 32-bit or the 64-bit install. The install is a 4-head install. You just go ahead and get yourself started, and then you're in business there with that one. So once you've got it installed, then when you bring up the iNet Manager, and I'm in the search window on the Start button, and I typed iNet Manager, INET-MGR, and then that brings up the Internet Manager. And you want to make sure your server's started over here, and you can see that ours is. And then you can see that we're on the main node for Mountain Streams, which is the name of my server, the one we're on right now. And I bring up the advanced logging. It's that particular item that we installed. That was what the install brought us, with a new little icon in the IIS Services Manager. And if we double click on that, then we can come to this page here. And if we come to this page, we can see whether or not advanced logging is turned on. Now I just disabled it, so now it's not enabled, and now it is enabled, okay? So you can turn it on and off right there, okay? And sometimes they say it's a good idea that if you start it, you just restart your server, okay? So I pressed the restart button up here, and that restarted the server. Sometimes, most of the time it actually works for me, but it's a good idea sometimes that if you've toggled the advanced logging feature to do that. Now let's go in here, and you can see we have two logs defined here, a root log and a default log, computer name log. So why don't we add a new log, which we'll call the new root log, okay, to distinguish it. And then we'll say that we want to publish real-time events, and we'll add a field in here. We'll call this the selected field, and we'll add in, say, the user agent and the local time. So we'll add those two fields in, and then we'll click the apply button up here, and now it's applied. So we can go over here and choose view log files, and if we look over here we can see our root log, but no new root log, right? So there's the default log for several days, but no, and a root log, but no new root log at this time. Then we've got subdirectories for each of our little sites that we have. We'll talk about them for just a second. We have a bunch of sites installed on this server. So let's go back to our browser for a second, and let's come over here and we'll hit the local host, which is going to be one of the sites here on our server. So we just hit it. So now we come back here and look, there's our new root log, okay? So it got installed, and then if we look at it, we can see that it just started up. This little bit is the information that every time it gets started, it puts that part in, just giving you a little introductory stuff. And then here's our message. There's the user agent, and over here's the time, and you can see it's 8:57 here. So it's in the evening. And so that gets you started using the logger, right? But let's go back here, and then let's notice that we have several sites here. We've got the default site, we've got the Elvenware site. Now, let's go into the Elvenware site, and you'll notice that it has a root log and it has a new root log, just the way the root site had a root log and a new root log. Plus, it had a few ones of its own, this Elvenware 01. Now, suppose we went to the new root log and we had the time after the user agent. Maybe we want to change that. And so here we are. We go, I want to make a simple change. I'm just a ordinary guy here wanting to make a simple change. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to choose the time local. And I'm going to say move to the first position. Now, I feel happy. I feel like I'm making progress. I press the apply button and it pops up an error message. And it says you can't, there was an error while performing this operation. It says it's not supported. And then it gives, the famous error message 80 million 70,032, right? Which is one of our favorite error messages. We all have it, and the other 80,070,031 error messages all memorized. So we know about that one. And what it is, of course, is that it's owned by the root node, okay? So if you go back to the root node here, then you can choose the item that you want. This is because this is the owner, right? The root node owns the new root log. So if you come here and then you decide you want to make a change and you move time local up to the start there, now if you press apply, it works, right? Because it's the owner. It's allowed to make changes like that. Okay. So let's go back here to our sites and we'll go to the Elvenware site. And we'll look at the advanced logging. And you can see there's a log here called Elvenware 01. And now let's go to our directory listing and we'll go into the Elvenware site and we'll see that here is the log that's in question. And you can see it was last changed at 8:47. And we know that it was 8:57 when we made that change that we just did. So this log wasn't affected by the fact that we went to the local host, okay? The reason it didn't get affected is because Elvenware runs on port 8000, okay? So its logs will only be incremented when we go to port 8000. So let's go over here to the browser again and let's hit localhost and then not go to port 80, which is the default one, but go to port 8000. So now we've hit the Elvenware site. And let's come back here and we'll open up this log and we'll scroll down to the bottom and look, here's some new entries that just happened at 9:01 in 7 seconds. And in fact, you can see that it was the Mountain Stream server at a certain time in here. So that was the information that we asked to be logged into that particular. And if we go back to the advanced logs, do you see where we are? We're on the C drive, we're in the C drive, in the inet pub directory, in the logs directory, and in the advanced logs directory. You can always find this directory simply by going into advanced logging and choosing view log files. So you can always find that directory again, but it's nice to just know where it is. And look here, do you see that the new root log here also has an entry at 2100, okay? So it got affected too. Why? Because it was inherited from the root node. So the logs that it inherited and the logs that it defines are the ones that actually get affected. So I think you understand the way it works here. If we now went to this site and went to the advanced logging for here and hit the server, then the mock p27 directory would get updated and so on. So I think you probably got the rhythm of the way this thing works. And that was all I wanted to say. So thank you for watching. Good night now.